Hello, welcome back to Madrona's Pulse Teachings. I'm Iris, and I was just on my new moon walk with my dogs, and I was like, no, I gotta make another video about this moment, about this energy, because it's pretty intense. I'm interrupting myself. I am filming this literally a couple hours after I filmed the video that you're about to watch, and I went for like a sweaty walk and was stretching after, and I just had this feeling, sensation, idea come to me. I was like, I'm gonna put that in the YouTube video that I just made. And so I'm interrupting myself to invite you in the spirit of Pluto and Aquarius, opposite that Leo new moon and the Leo sun. You know, part of building these new realities and paradigms is that we look to each other. We look to community for new economies, for healing, for community and companionship. And we turn our gaze away from the industries that have created a top-bottom hierarchy, whether that is of this is the best coach you should see, this is the best at blah, blah, blah. And usually those people have a hierarchy of media power behind them. And I will try not to go too far into the media critique from a media prof. And in order to create these new realities, we look to each other. And I value folks in this community so much. And so what I wanted to invite you to do in the spirit of shining, if you have got like a witchy business, if you have got a website, something you're developing, if you have got something that you do online that might actually support someone else who's watching this video, I think you should throw your website in the comments. You don't need to describe it. If you want to put like a one sentence, describe it. But that's a lovely way for folks to become aware of things they would never become aware of, especially if you're working on taking up space a little bit more and being seen a little bit more, which is an ongoing journey. But I do my best to keep the comments in this channel a safe place for folks to express themselves. I pretty quickly remove spam and trollers and things like that. I always read your comments. And so I invite you to just kind of put something on there. If you want to offer out something that you're doing in community, put it into this community. Then we create more networks, and who knows, maybe there's someone that's selling beautiful little witchy infused oils and someone else like me really needs to order them from you. Or maybe someone has a beautiful coaching situation and someone else is looking for you. So if you feel at all inspired, called, throw your website in the comments. If you don't have a website and you don't have that and you want to set an intention for this new moon, for what I'm about to talk about in the video you're about to watch, then I invite you to throw one word in the comment that just sums up. Like right now, the word love is just coming to me so strongly. Maybe I need to make a comment and put love of something that you're setting an intention for. In this moment, that's kind of like a little pocket within this massive outer planet symphony paradigm shift that we are hopefully buckled up within our psyche, soul, and journeying through. Okay, now go back to the actual video. And it is intense. And first, let's just name that. It can be quite intense. Pluto has been opposite, for that new moon, the sun and the moon. It's opposite the sun. We're still going to be working with that opposition as we move through the weekend. And yet, it is not just Pluto. It is Neptune and Saturn trining that sun, the new moon, and Uranus and Sedna sextiling it. And so I think the message that I just wanted to make for us, this is for me too, folks. I'm just the messenger. I got to pay attention and implement, is how we can really witness in what's coming up. Once we're in a place to distance ourselves from the stories, there is such incredible breakthrough energy. And it's not just breakthrough in a linear trajectory of trying to understand myself more from a kind of traditional psychoanalytical perspective. Neptune blasts all that open. Neptune's like, no, no, no. This is about soul. This is about the new reality that's birthing itself. This is about the role that you have to play here. Uranus is like, this is about this new authenticity that, yes, Sedna says has been seeded in you, but now it's ready to start birthing. And this is new reality making. And if there's a new reality forming, that is not separate from our breath and flesh and trouble sleeping and beautiful, blissful flow moments. It's all of it. The reality is not out there, it's in here. And by being in here, it's also out there. And so what the astrology of these, this moment is, this new moon is so powerful because it lets us so personally feel into the cosmic symphony of the outer planets talking to each other. And so as we move out of it, that Pluto absolutely might have been shifting, it might have been stirring stuff up, it might have triggered some folks. And yet Neptune and Saturn are trining in. Saturn, as we come out of the new moon, is in its exact sextile with Sedna. And when Sedna is exact, that's when she's most potent. And Uranus is, of course, there too. And so a really lovely practice for us is to let go of the story as much as we can and really feel, not think, really feel into what's underneath. What is this pulling up for me? Can I get curious about it? Can I see how there is probably some of my old wounded self coming up? The way that she, he, they felt they maybe needed to perform in relationships, in life, in situations because of that wound. And that wound has Neptune and Saturn trining into it, Sedna and Uranus sextiling it, so that we can make a massive leap of consciousness, so that we can understand ourselves in a new way, so that we can witness, honor, and release. Catch and release. Catch that emotional state that's underneath the surface and release. Don't hold on to that. It deserves to go and flow and be back in the cosmic soup. And that's what's present here. And as we come out of the new moon, if you have had intense situations, if you have had triggering situations with friends, colleagues, loved ones, partners, however it's coming out, animals, my cat this morning, yes, animals can do it too, folks. However it's coming up, now I'm like, oh, I gotta go sit with that. Now, how can we sit with it? How can we see what's underneath, right? Like even right now, there's this little part of me that's like, oh, right, that's something about my own control because it's in this new house and the cat peed somewhere. And I was like, why? And how can we see what's underneath? But not so that we can cognitively understand and control, so that we can actually just see ourselves. So that we can see ourselves and like Pluto wants us to see those parts of ourselves. And in order for that to happen, we do have to let go of the blame of other people and other situations. And that is hard. And sometimes it needs space. Sometimes it needs nature. Sometimes it needs like 5 years of intense journaling to get to the place where we can start letting go. And trust me, I get it, right? But wherever we are on that journey, we can just be with ourselves and also bring that Leo playful joy into the journey itself, because the sun is in Leo. And by allowing these reflections to come at this moment, it is simultaneously bringing healing to the past through witnessing. There is no bypassing in this. Pluto is like, you thought you were gonna bypass me? No way. Because the empowerment comes from feeling it, from witnessing, from patterns breaking down. But it's not so that we can fix ourselves and perform normal. It's so that we can open to the massive changes that are underway and flowing in. And that we can create the new reality within ourselves. It's a new moon. The sun and the moon are talking to the outer planets. It is so personal. It is about us. The sun and the moon opposite Pluto, Leo and Aquarius, that is all about seeing ourselves as creative beings. And that creativity, oh, does it get taught that it needs to mold itself out of survival, out of societal norms, out of the ridiculousness that is celebrity culture and what that does to the human mind, body, psyche. Classism, so many different, intersections of ways that our own creative spirit gets taught that I'm supposed to be like that. I'm supposed to be making that. My art is supposed to look like that. And the Leo and the Aquarius just wants it to be your heart song. And there's so many layers of scar tissue around our creative being. That Pluto's journey through Aquarius, every time we have personal planets traveling through Leo, especially when they're in that oppositional gaze with Pluto, which brings us into an oppositional gaze with ourself, which for those that know their bell hooks is also bringing cultural theory into our own journey of how we've internalized ways to judge and shame ourselves for not being born or fitting in to certain paradigms and power structures and identities. And the Pluto-Leo axis, like no other, can help us journey through that scar tissue around the heart so that we can, from the inside out, feel what our creative impulse wants to create. And so with Neptune and Saturn trining in, this is so that things that come up that might be triggering, we can feel it. And we can really make that mind-body sync. And with joy, release, and journey forth, creating new realities for ourselves. And there's just so much potential. And it doesn't mean it's easy. It doesn't mean it's pain-free. It is complicated. It is messy. It is probably bringing up hard emotions at times, hard situations. There is nothing that needs to be sugar-coated about the process of awakening. It is unfortunate that it gets kind of put into these candy-coated memes and such, because it means that we're in, it's like Thich Nhat Hanh, where the lotus is in the mud. And the beauty is recognizing the beauty of both. The beautiful opening and the beautiful muck and richness that surrounds it, right? Like now I'm just going to share a tiny little story. Because it's so strong. There's a little pond, like a tiny little pond that the folks that we just moved here, so the folks that lived here before had made. And as we literally moved here, got off of the moving vehicle from BC, for folks that are new to my channel, I just moved from BC to Nova Scotia. And we saw all these little alien globule looking things. And we were like, I think those are eggs or sacs or something. And then sure enough, a few days later, there are all these tadpoles in this tiny little pond. And we were so excited to see a frog, right? And to watch them grow. And we've been watching these tadpoles grow. And then they started getting really big. And that's when and it's like the pond, I swear I'm going to cycle back in. The pond is mucky, it is muddy. There's leaves. It's and today, an hour after the new moon, I went to walk the dogs and I glimpse, and there he is, Mr. Frog, right? This beautiful being surrounded by all, the camouflage is just pure beauty. Dante used to call nature God's art, right? It's just this pure beauty. But there was the frog. And it was this beautiful life that has grown in this ecosystem and this here, and we are always growing and we're composting and we're supposed to have that mucky part of our environment and we're supposed to have the beautiful form, and it's all beautiful, right? The muck is beautiful. What we get taught to think is just the beauty of the flower, or that, like they're never separate, is my point. That whole story. They're never separate. And the astrology here can really help us to glimpse that in ourselves. Okay. And there's so much, like there is forgiveness. That Neptune and that Saturn, there is breakthrough. There is Sedna and Saturn. There is literally the new structures of self forming, so that our archetypal wounds can create the ecosystem that you are ready to birth yourself into a new form. And this is astrology of birthing new forms. It is massive paradigm changing. And we are journeying with it for a long time, but we are so in the beginning stages now, and it is a time to witness the richness. And that happens alongside the breakdown, alongside the how can humans do this, alongside all of it, because none of it is separate. And with that, I'm also going to tell you, because I really need to work on announcements. I do have 2 workshops coming up. So for folks, and I have gotten a few emails because I mentioned one and then didn't mention it again. So Reclaiming the Fire Witch is a workshop on August 2nd, pretty soon. And it's a 2-hour workshop, and we're going to just really work with reclaiming that archetype and birthing the new realities in ourselves through that primal Aries fire and Saturn, and also how Neptune is supporting especially the reclaiming of the Fire Witch. And the other workshop is Astro Witching Our Way Through Healing. I had to think about the name. And that is a workshop I'm offering specifically for survivors. That is really looking at how astrology is a beautiful paradigm for our own healing journeys. And that is by donation. I come out of doing a lot of scholarship around survivors and healing. It's part of my own story. And so every now and then I will do kind of workshops by donation, just to put that work out there for folks who are wanting and needing it. And I'm doing one on August 10th. And so how you access that, the link is below. I'll put the link here. I'm doing that because it's the most streamlined way, because it's by donation through Patreon. So if you don't know about my Patreon, you can click on the link and kind of investigate it, see if you want to come hang out with us. But you just join for free, and then you'll see I've pinned the post there. Once you've become a free member, you can just scroll down, you can see it. The link to donate is there. The Zoom link is there. So that's how you'll join on August 10th. If you cannot donate anything financially, just come with love in your heart, and that's your donation. And that is all I have to say. So lots of love, and see you soon. Bye-bye.